Hello there again, everybody. This is Jund League number 53, and the thought experiment with this iteration is: can we get Witch's Cottage to be good? So this is in the same cycle as Mystic Sanctuary, which we've all come to either love or hate in recent times. So the idea being, if we control lots of swamps, we can maybe put back a powerful creature from our graveyard on top of our deck. While Tarmogoyf is probably one of the lower value creatures to do this with, Scavenging Ooze, Seasoned Pyromancer, and Bloodbraid Elf tend to be pretty excellent top decks in the grindy games. So if the creature is removed from the battlefield via non-exile removal, hopefully we can use the Witch's Cottage to kind of get some value back and guarantee a good top deck. I had to make a few deck construction considerations in order to hopefully make this work, most of which are in the mana base. I'm not playing any copies of Blackleaf Cliffs because I need all of my lands to be swamps, or most of my lands to be swamps. So I'm playing 3 copies of Blood Crypt with the 2 copies of Overgrown Tomb. Playing more Blood Crypt than Overgrown Tomb because I'm going to need the red to cast Lightning Bolt early. This is kind of like the Blackleaf Cliff slot. Along those lines, I expect to be the average lands drop progression to be possibly more painful than it would be otherwise, because again, I'm playing Blood Crypts instead of Blackleaf Cliffs, because Blackleaf Cliffs are not swamps to turn on the cottages. Other than that, the mana base is pretty similar to what it usually is. I guess the one other change is, instead of playing the 1 copy of Wooded Foothills to get basic forest, I am playing the full set of Verdant and Bloodstained Mire, because again, those get basic swamp, which means they can grab Witch's Cottage, because while not being basic, it is a swamp. Playing 4 copies of Lightning Bolt, again, that's why I want a lot of Blood Crypts, even more so over Overgrown Tombs. I'm doing the traditional 6 1-mana hand disruption spells, 2 fatal pushes to round out the 1-drop slot, and then everything else is pretty standard. My 2-mana removal suite is just 2 copies of Dreadbore, and then as you go up the curve, we've got some more interactive spells and Liliana and Kolaghan's Command. The sideboard is tuned to beat this meta. Still Uro Omnath in at first, Rakdos Shadow still in at second, Heliod Company still in at third, and then we've got more versions of Shadow and some other combo decks following in the immediate slots after that. Jund's nowhere to be seen, but maybe this is good to have a new iteration of Jund and just try some new different things and see what we can get to stick. So we've got lots and lots of land hate. What's up, Spirit Chiller? We've got lots and lots of land hate. 2 Boil, 4 Cleansing Wildfire, and 3 Ashiok if you want to consider that land hate. And then in terms of graveyard interaction, again, we've got the 3 Ashioks, the 3 Spell Bombs, and then we've got 2 Brutalities and a Plague Engineer to round out various matchups. Any of the modal duels? No, I'm not playing any of those new modal duels because they do not have the land type swamp in addition to whatever other color they produce, and I'm really trying to make this Witch's Cottage work just as a thought experiment. So I'm not going to play many lands that don't say swamp, just like the other 2 basics, the 1 copy of Peatland, and like the Ravines, obviously. All right, so let's run this thing into a league and see what we can do. Make sure I get the right deck. Oh no, did I not have it set up correctly? Let me double check real fast. It doesn't like something. What does it not like? Oh, I have 59 cards in the main deck. I wonder how that happened. Did I take something out by accident? I guess I didn't. I guess I just missed one. Alright, so you guys in chat, you guys get to help decide what the 60th card is. What do you want the 60th card to be? That's my mistake. Oops. What should it be? Maybe like a Cling to Dust or something? Not another land. Let me know if you've got any suggestions. Otherwise, I'm just going to make it a Cling. I actually don't hate another Ooze. Don't know Modern enough? Alright, well, I'm going to make it another Ooze, I think. Do I have one in my collection? Oh, Oozer. No, Ooze. Ideally, it's something I've got in my collection just so I don't have to go through the whole mana traders like rent and re-rent again. I don't have another ooze, I only have the 2. Alright, let me remind myself what I own. I just took that out by accident. But I do have 3. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? John Witch's Cottage. Okay. Alright, there we go. I'll just add another ooze. Can't wait to see more new cards. Yeah, I've seen only a few of the new cards, but they look pretty cool so far. Alright, so I'll submit this. I'll do 3 oozes. Alright, does it like the deck now? It does. Alright, let's try this again. Constructed. John Witch's Cottage. Alright, we're submitting the correct deck this time. Tap-In and MTG. I downloaded Tap-In a long time ago. I didn't really play it a whole lot. Alright, so yeah, let's go first. That seems good. Yeah, Sand's fine. Turn 1 Inquisition into hopefully a Liliana nice and early. So I did mention that like the average like mana progression is going to be a little bit more painful. One of these would have been a Blackleaf Cliff, so already we're seeing that. Playing against Ad Nauseam. This is typically a pretty good matchup. This Dreadbore is not going to do anything though, which is pretty unfortunate. I think I'm going to take their mana acceleration. Hopefully that'll give me time for the Liliana to do some work. So I no longer have to tell the chat what they did with the card because of my new layout. You guys can just see it, so that's nice, at least for me. All right, well, Dreadbore is obviously not castable right now. Let's play another Inquisition. They did top. All right, so they've got just another land. I think I'm just gonna take a combo piece here. I don't really think I want to take the Pact. I don't really have anything that fights the combo while it's on the stack, so the Pact not really gonna do a whole lot unless like they can like Pact and then use a like an Angel's Grace to have the Pact not die, not kill them, but that's about the best use for it I think that they could have. All right, that's the new card. So we've got Perfect Info still. Not anymore. All right, so I do want to get in general swamps so the witches cottages are turned on, but cottage doesn't seem like it's gonna be relevant in the next couple turns. So I think I'm gonna I'll probably end up getting Overgrown Tomb anyway. All right, and top and bottom splitting the difference. Alright, and they didn't cast other copy of Serum Visions. Yeah, it's just Overgrown Tomb. Boop. Alright, so this looks like a fine time to get the Liliana down and start taking it away. Say yes. They might pact it if they've got like Angel's Grace as well. Yeah, they don't. That's good. I honestly don't think this Dreadbore is doing anything. There's a world where they play the Seagate Oracle and I want to kill it so I can continue plussing with Liliana. So, I mean, maybe I just should keep it at least for one more cycle. I'll bin a land for now, but I'll probably bin this Dreadbore before I bin a 4th land. Alright, and they discarded the pact because, as I outlined, I'm pretty sure it's mostly useless. Liliana on turn 3 on the play is a pretty good way to fight ad nauseam, but I am missing the clock. Okay. And there's the clock. Alright, so this looks like a plus. I'm going to do that first so we both discard without the info. I'll ditch Dreadbore, play Goyf, play land. I think the 4th land's pretty important, so I can cast a Bloodbraid if I draw one. It's possible they didn't cast their other Serum Visions on the turn they could just because it's potential discard fodder. No, they want to keep it for now. Alright, so I'll go land, cast my large Tarmogoyf, and that's what I got. And I don't think I'm going to fetch. In the off chance the opponent's playing something like Dismember or Fatal Push, I can get my Witch's Cottage to redraw the Tarmogoyf. So like this land actually has some value. Not that I think that this deck would play Fatal Push in the main, just because they're so linear. But you never know. It's kind of free to keep this unfetched as long as like I don't want to like take a land out of the deck. Yeah. I'll just leave it uncracked. Another Liliana. Well, normally I would love just slamming the other Liliana, but we're one off of ultimate with this one, so I think I'm just gonna plus. Well, obviously I can't really hold it, but yeah, I'll plus discard Walker, make Goyf a little bit bigger, and I think we're gonna be in a pretty commanding position here because ultimate is gonna be pretty potent. Yeah, this seems good. Like if they have land and ad nauseam here, that would be the way that we die. But if we don't just die right now, I feel good. Again, they don't need Angel's Grace. They've got their Phyrexian on life in play. Didn't play the land. Alright, so is there a consideration to plussing the Liliana again so I can keep it around post-ultimate? They would still need exactly Mana Source and Ad Nauseam. I mean, if they had Mana Source and Ad Nauseam last turn, they'd have just done it. They could have the Ad Nauseam in hand and the non-land card, and they're just like trying to wait for the land. If I ultimate now, I can like split the piles, like land, unlife, and 3 lands. The opponent can still win like relatively easily from there. If they just like keep the 3 lands. I kind of like keeping the Liliana around. Could end up biting me, but I like being able to keep on plussing. I mean, that might just be too greedy. I do think that this Liliana is pretty valuable to keep around. You want me to keep plussing when nothing's in hand? Yeah, cutting Bloodbraid, it feels so weird. It's like one of your best cards in most matchups. Alright, well this is definitely getting cast, so let's lead there. I think I want to keep this Liliana around. The only way this bites me again is if they have Ad Nauseam already and they spike the untapped land. Yeah, I'm gonna plus it once more. The other way this bites me, I guess, is if their mana source is like a Spirit Guide. Alright, so it was a tapped land. Makes some sense. Alright, so let's get back. Stomping Ground, sure. I think I need to run them out of resources. Yeah, I mean, the Liliana plussing would be the way to do that. I guess the idea though is like I've got the clock in play, so if I can keep them off of relevant permanents as well, that might just buy me enough time for the Glyph to win on its own. If I don't have a creature in play, I think I'm just ultimating because like I need to have time to find the creature. But with the creature in play, I think the decision's a little closer. Alright, so Unlife into a pile. And then I think I'm going to put this with their best land, which is probably the Dark Slick Shore. Because if they're going to keep 3 lands, I don't want them to have their best land be kept. If I put it 2 lands, and Unlife, they just keep the Unlife. So I think Unlife with their best land is the move. And like, if they don't keep the Unlife, they are just dead in 2 hits. They could play another Unlife to effectively gain 10 in 2 turns. But I think I like the split. Alright, keep the Unlife. Alright, so I guess they've just determined that buys them the most time. Alright, I'll start plussing on the fetches, I suppose. Just at this point, I just want to take some lands out of my deck. Alright, so smack. Alright, so I think this is obviously going pretty well, but not through the woods yet. The fact that we get to continue plussing is pretty nice. Alright, let's just take some lands out of the deck now. The opponent's going to be like, why do they have a 3rd Blood Crypt? That's not regular. Awesome. Alright, so I think I'm going to plus first, ditching the Pyromancer. That's a joke. Obviously ditching Forest. Alright, now we can play the Seasoned Pyromancer. Divination plus a 2/2. In red. Cool. We can go Mountain. We can go Bloodbraid. The actual damage here doesn't actually do anything, right? Because of Unlife. Oh, that's actually fine. Just have them discard their last card now. Cool. They've had enough. Alright, so add Nauseam. This sideboard's not really tuned to be at ad nauseam. Brutality is fine as another, basically, duress. The opponent's got a good number of basics in their deck, so Wildfire isn't going to be great. They don't play many islands. Most of them are temples. Most of the blue sources are temples. Or like that rainbow land. And they don't really do any searching. Ashiok doesn't seem great. Like Ashiok can, I guess, like take out some of their like 1 or 2 ofs. Or like it can like snipe some spirit guides, for example, but that doesn't seem great. And then for the same reason Ashiok's not great, I think Spellbomb's not great. It might just be the 2 brutality. Spirit, it doesn't actually interact with their combo at all because they don't have to search for their combo. They don't even play fetch lands because they want to keep all the cards they sleight of hand and scry to the bottom at the bottom. Like you saw, they were playing the blue black modal land, like that. They're playing that like over a fetch, for example. All right, so I think I'm just gonna take out like removal spells. So like obviously Dreadbore can come out. I would like to find replacements for Fatal Push because it's just another removal spell. It doesn't do anything. So I guess if I have to put 2 more cards in, it would be between Ashiok, Spellbomb, and Wildfire. Yeah, Ashiok is pretty expensive. I mean, Wildfire and Spellbomb redraw, so I'm more inclined to put those in. And then, like, between the 2, I'm not entirely sure. The opponent does have a few basics, so like this is not really super relevant. I might just play this spell bomb because like there's a chance that like having an artifact makes Glyph bigger, but I mean it's kind of close. I mean, they're effectively the same amount of mana to get the card out of it, but I guess spell bomb also allows the flexibility to like split the turns where you spend the mana. Cannot keep this, unfortunately. Really want to see like Inquisition into Goyf into Liliana, and then not a Leyline of Sanctity. Well, I'll keep it. And I think I'm just going to bottom a Pyromancer. I'm pretty far from casting it. I mean, any fetch land means that Red and 6 gets back second red source. But I'm not going to bottom a land, and the Bolt can at least go to face. Got the Leyline? Crap. Alright, well, hard mode it is. But still really like to draw a red land. Top of that. I thought I bottomed you. If we're gonna get any sick reprints in Kaldheim, that'd be sweet. I don't know what they would reprint. Changelings are in Kaldheim, right? Are there any cool changelings? Red source. Another card that's annoying for our Leyline, or their Leyline. Bear, go. Shaman of the Pack? That's the elf thing, right? It like drains equal to the number of elves they've got. I think that was last in Origins. Yeah, Origins was pretty close to when I started playing, so my memory of that time is like pretty okay. I got a lot of nostalgia points in that era. All right, well, we didn't hit the land. Pretty unfortunate. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Origins was like early 2016, right? Like Origins was the core set after like the cons block, right? The first cards that I played with were Theros, but I didn't buy cards until cons. So like that's kind of my era is when I started playing. They went for Spirit Guide and it was on top. Okay, I was gonna say like how this game has turned out. One of my better ways to win was they just kill themselves with the spoils, but they didn't even take any damage. Brutal. All right, go for it. Go wild. All right, I'm gonna let them combo off without me conceding because I want to see their deck. I want to see what they boarded in and such. You want to see Abrupt Decay reprint? That'd be cool. Alright, so many ley lines, that's to be expected, I guess. Echoing Truths. I guess that's something to know about. Path to Exile, okay. Slaughter Pact, okay. Thoughtseize. Alright, so they've got some good sideboard tech that I'm happy I know about. I'm not sure I would bring in Thoughtseize from the opponent's side, but it's there. Was it just one so far? There's two so far. They kept in Pact of Negation. Are they playing Terrarios to like transmute for it? They haven't revealed one of those, have they? Doesn't look like it. So they just kept one in, maybe? Alright, so one pact, a path, or two paths. Do they not have the Do they not have the Lightning Storm? I don't see it revealed. They've got the Manamorphose into Oracle plan though, right? I don't even see a Manamorphose. Oh, it was on the stack. I guess that's why I couldn't see it. Oh, oh, maybe it was in their hand. Duh. Alright, so yeah, we're dead. Alright, so... I mean, not many changes. Probably just going to resubmit it. We kind of have to hope they don't have the ley line. I'm not playing any trophies or stuff like that to get rid of it. Alright, resubmit. You want to play elves? That's fair. Okie dokie. So we've got turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Brutality. If they've got Leyline, it gets much worse. We don't have green source for the Tarmogoyf, but if we hit any land, we can Kolaghan's Command and Tarmogoyf. So it's like if we were to mulligan, I'm not really sure what we would be mulliganing to. I'd probably just have to keep this and then just really pray there's no Leyline in the future. They have mulliganed. Do it again. Like they might just be like really emphasizing trying to have a ley line. But like at a certain point, like you can't go down too low and then risk not having it. Because like if you keep a 5 with a ley line, it's possible to win, but it is harder. All right, and they've got it. Brutal. Not good. Alright, tap land, go. So I mean the Pyromancer can pretty readily pitch the 2 hand disruption spells that don't do anything, so that much is good. They just don't have the lands. Neither do we though. Brutal. Man, if I could stick the Glyph here, I'd feel good, but it is not meant to be. Yeah, I mean, they kept at least one Lotus Bloom, right? They drew into a second one fairly immediately. Like, I think our hand was good. Like, we took the gamble they didn't have Leyline, but I wasn't really mulliganing to a much better hand. I guess, like, the one obvious upgrade is we have a green source. If I draw on top land here, I might just want to Kolaghan's Command the Lotus Bloom. Like, I can do it in their upkeep before they can, like, play a land. Like, alternatively, I could just use Pyromancer to get my clock going. I don't think that they're going to try to combo me quite yet. So I think I'm going to play the Seasoned Pyromancer here. Yeah, because, like, even if they, like, play a land and the Lotus Bloom resolves, that's only 5 mana. Alright, so let's ditch the useless hand disruption. And then next turn I'll probably end up killing this Lotus Bloom. This is a wacky game. They did top bottom with the Serum Vision, so odds are they kept a land. This is an unlife. Others going for it. They have Spirit Guide too. Yeah, they got it. Brutal. So as long as they didn't board out a Spirit Guide, this should be good enough. So I mean, yeah, had I just used the Kolaghan's commands to shatter the Lotus Bloom in their upkeep, they would not have had access to this play. But then they Lotus Bloom on the following turn, and I'm in the same predicament. So yeah, I'm just gonna make sure they can execute the kill, and then I'll concede. All right, they've revealed 3 Spirit Guides. They just need to like have the Lightning Storm, which they do. So yeah, I think that matchup is quite good, especially game 1 when they don't have access to Leyline usually. But they had the Leyline 2 and 3. I didn't have any lands though, Big Daddy Snow. I didn't have any lands in my hand to throw it back. This is a keeper. Oh man. Oh, I did draw the peatland. You're right. You're right. All right. Well, we've got our worst and most unfun matchup here. Let's hope they've only got one Sylvan Scrying. Okay. Okay. Everything is fine. Oh, okay. Okay, everything is fine. It's okay, I'll just Inquisition their power plant. That's how that works, right? Alright, I can bolt this Karn, so I mean if they get something relatively useless, I'm in it. Alright, that's relatively useless without a Karn. Alright, so gonna need to find untapped source here. Ideally red. Alright, well, I mean, it's a source. I could Inquisition here, but I think I'm gonna lean on a Kolaghan's command. Like, if they play another Karn, I'm gonna want to, like, shatter this coding. I've got Dread War. Should I just use this Kolaghan's command now? I think I will. Let's have the opponent discard and I'll like shatter this. I'm not going to have a lot of time to cast it otherwise. So you. And then I'll Dreadbore the Ugin. And I mean, I guess I'll cast Inquisition just to get an update on the info. I highly doubt it actually hits anything. That does nothing. Another Ugin. Alright, I'll scoop to that. Alright, well, I didn't show him Dreadbore, I guess. Alright, so we've got a lot of cards for this. Cleansing Wildfire is going to be great. Ashiok is fine for helping stop Tron, but it kind of needs to come in ahead of it, or else they can pretty easily assemble it and just exploit it from there. Let's take out some Ren and 6s. They don't really do a whole lot. Fatal Push does actual nothing. Ooze is really, really slow. I think it's this. I don't really think I want more copies of Ren and 6. It just does not seem like a very good card here. Like, it would be like Ashiok that comes in. This seems fine. 2 seems okay. No thanks. Better. Alright, I'm gonna bottom an Ooze, I think. It's my only, like, quick clock, but I'm more likely than not just gonna Wildfire on 2, Ashiok on 3. Then I can Bloodbraid from there. So I wonder if I'm supposed to be holding the Wildfire here. Was like they might just find a land, like I might just want to wait until they find the land. I mean, it's probably just right to do it now anyway. Like it uses my mana well, and like it sets them back on Tron a whole turn no matter what. So let's do it now. All right, we found the clock. Nice. I still think I want to get this Ashiok down. Like having the Ashiok down when they've got when they're gonna almost definitely have to search for Tron in a few ways is nice. They're just doing it now. All right, so yeah, this looks like the Ashiok turn. Liliana's good too, but I really want them to stop. I really want them to stop searching if they've got like Sylvan Scrying or more maps. Do I want to minus for any reason? I've got Tarmogoyf, so to grow the Tarmogoyf, I probably want to mill myself, but taking out Artifact does guarantee shrink it. I mean, I guess the odds that it grows are strongest if I just mill myself. Like, I'll remove one, but odds are I'll add one or two. Alright, we didn't add any yet. Alright, so I'm gonna have to hope that they don't just have the other Tron land. Odds that they do aren't super low either, which is kind of upsetting. Alright, well, I drew the land, so that's pretty good. That almost definitely means I should be Bloodbraiding here. I could hit another piece of land hate. The ideal case would be another Cleansing Wildfire. Alright, I guess I can ditch a Liliana now that I've got one in play. They ditched a Karn. Got the Tron. They don't. Alright, we're alive. Alright, so now we just want more stuff like Cleansing Wildfire. O Stone. Alright, well we can Kolaghan's Command that. Awesome. Alright. I almost don't want to plus this Liliana now, because like I kind of want all the cards in my hand. Unfortunate that I have to give them a window to potentially just kill me by top decking Tron, but like if they play any land, they get to pop O Stone, and I don't think I can allow that. So I think I'm just gonna Kolaghan's Command. I guess like there's a world where they've got Dismember, so I should attack first. Alright, and I want to do this now in case they're playing Veil of Summer or something along those lines. I'll have you discard a card. It might even just be worth it to do 2 to the opponent. Like, discarding a card is less effective when I'm not also plussing Liliana, but I think my hand is pretty good. At this stage, do I just discard Tarmogoyf? Because like I've got the Bloodbraid as a continuous clock. Same can be said about the Ravine. Like I do want to pressure the opponent's hand to like make sure that they can't both find something and have the Tron. I think it's wild, but I think I am okay discarding the Tarmogoyf here. Like it shaves the clock off by 1, but Ravine does something similar, assuming I find a land. Could discard Goyf to Lily, then shatter, get back Goyf. Yeah, I could get back the Goyf, but like pressuring the hand seems a little bit better. I mean, that does set up the double spell the double spell turn of Goyf and Wildfire, so it's not ridiculous. We're definitely destroying an artifact though. Yeah, I mean getting back Goyf isn't crazy. Let's do it. Return a creature, kill an artifact. That one, that one. And then I'll leave Ashiok at 3, I guess. No, let's minus it. Let's just keep on going. It takes out the artifacts for the Goyf, but that doesn't make a huge difference on the clock. Let's just keep on maybe sniping Tron lands, which we haven't yet. There goes an Ulamog though. Sphere, yeah. So they could still like cycle this into like Tron and then like Karn me, which would be really bad. But they don't, so that's good. Alright, I'm pretty happy just discarding this land to get the Liliana at ultimate range. So I think I'll plus it first so they discard valid info. This means that we're not able to activate Ravine super easily, but now that we've got the Goyf, that's less of an issue. They discarded the Karn. Alright, and I guess if I'm going to be super technical again, I'll attack before doing anything else. Alright, then we can Wildfire the Tron that they don't have a duplicate of. Pymancer's nice. And then say go. Jeez. Oh, we have the Liliana ultimate. They could have Veil of Summer, which would effectively counter it. But I mean, if they've got it, they've got it. Like, it's kind of just gonna get me. Please no Veil. Cool. Okay. Whew. Alright, so still Tron. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else. I think I'm just going to resubmit. 3-mana Planeswalkers get worse on the draw, but there's just not much else I can put in instead of them. Let's see some Cleansing Wildfire. Watch, my hand's gonna be like 4 Wildfire and like no lands. They mulligan to 6. We've got Inquisition, we've got Tarmogoyf. That's our best 1-mana, 2-mana play. But we don't have a way to disrupt the Tron. It's kind of close. This would be a good like article question that like someone would like sit down and write, but like this is like the nuts hand in the dark pretty much. But on the draw versus Tron, it's kind of hard to keep. And like the opponent is mulligan, which we know already. I mean, I'm inclined to keep and then try to get lucky. They mulligan to 5. Okay. I mean, Inquisition could also brick here, which is the other scary thing. But if they're 2 easy routes to Tron or map and Sylvan Scrying, or they got the map. And if their route was the Sylvan Scrying, Inquisition is quite good. And it's a good draw, especially when they're so low on resources. I mean, I'm not gonna not cast this, so let's just hope we hit it. I mean, there's still some things we could hit, like Stirrings. All right, well they're gonna have Tron on 3. And do a Karn. Alright, so we need to draw the sideboard card, basically. There's 4 of it. Damn it. Alright, well, we've got the Dreadbore for the first Karn. It's a rough way to do it. And if I do this, they're not hitting a land, and like my lands might be pretty important because I might need this Bloodbraid to like haste down the smaller Karn. Like if they go little Karn, get a 3-drop, play a 3-drop, I might need to attack it down that way. But yeah, playing big Karn makes complete sense. I hope they just plus here because then I can Dreadbore it. I don't think they hit a land here because then I get it with the attack. So it's either Goyf or like minus on Goyf or plus. I think plus the plus is the best case scenario for me. Oh, okay. I mean, if they've drawn another payoff, then like their choice doesn't really matter. So that might be indicative of that. All right, I think I'm playing another copy of Tarmogoyf here, and there's like attacking down Karn with the first Goyf. So the opponent can get a 3 and play a 3. This could get a bridge. It's probably the best thing they could get because Goyfs can't attack it down unless I like a bolt or something. This card is going to get to live to minus again with full mana. I mean, I've got the Liliana to start plussing and working towards an ultimate, but I doubt that's going to be good or fast enough. I mean, I do have the Dreadbore to kill the Karn that way, so if they get the bridge in hopes that I can't kill the Karn, I do have a way to get rid of it. All right, it's bridge. All right, well, I definitely have to get this Karn dead before it's able to minus again. So, Dreadbore time. If this Bloodbraid can hit something sweet like a Kolaghan's Command, we've got a chance. Karn makes it much harder. Should probably just hit a land at this point. If they plus, I'm gonna like put Liliana back. Yeah, hitting a land makes the most sense, especially because I've only got one black source. Yeah, we're dead. So unfortunately, I've been trying to test this Witcher's Cottage, and we're 0 for 2 on matchups where it matters. Like I imagine the places where it matters would be versus stuff like Shadow and Omnath piles. But we haven't found any of those quite yet. Yeah, this is fine. I'll probably just play this Witch's Cottage tapped here. Oh, that might change it. So if I'm fetch shocking, I guess I'm getting Overgrown Tomb that casts all the green spells. It puts us far from Pyromancer, but we've got lots of green stuff we don't mind casting in the interim. So I'll Overgrown Tomb here. Cast this Inquisition. Titan. I'll take the Explorer. Like the bolt can obviously kill the oozes, but it's probably the weakest card overall. Explorer lets them get to Titan faster. This hand is not set up very well to beat what the opponent has going on. Interesting they got Snow-Covered Mountain when they already have Snow-Covered Mountain. I guess it really doesn't matter. They can't lose anyway. Yeah, they're Scapeshift Titan for sure. Alright, well, I'm going to deploy a Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf does not get bolted. They could double bolt it. Like, if they Castle Titan me here, I can just, you know, eat a sack of bricks, but... Wait, they lost connection and immediately conceded? Okay. I guess I'll take a victory just to, like, put us on the board, but that's a... I didn't think that we would insta-win on a disconnect. What happened there? Yeah, I don't know. I thought I would have given him a few minutes to, like, find their way back, but I guess not. Weird. Well, I did say the opponent couldn't lose. I guess I didn't think of that out. Yeah, sounds fine. So we'll get Overgrown Tomb, have the mountain, and then we can get the red and 6 going that way. Sanctum, is this Neoform? Oh, this is that new Keenan deck, right? I think I saw Nassif playing this deck earlier. Alright, I'll get the Verdant down in anticipation of wanting to kill a Keenan. Or like an Emery. There's the Keenan. Alright, so they can make 2 mana right now with the drum of 1 color. They have Emery as well. Or they could still have the Emery, I suppose. Not really a window where I get to disrupt them playing an Emery. So I'm just going to hope they don't have it. Alright, they don't have it. That's good. Alright, so Overgrown Tomb looks like. Alright, so now I have to decide between wanting to get a clock down or playing this Ren and 6. I guess the upside of playing the Ren and 6 is like it's a guaranteed have an untapped 3rd mana, which means I can then Kulagon's Command, which seems like it's going to be pretty strong. I think this is going to be a resource oriented game instead of a damage race, especially because the opponent's probably playing stuff like Uro. So I think I'm going to put a premium on just guaranteeing I can hit my untapped manas, my untapped land drops, because I can Kolaghan's Command on 3, and then I can start chaining some Bloodbraid Elves. Like, if they play another Keenan or like an Emery, then I'll probably have to target that. Is it Uro time? Keenan. Alright. Does this make 2 mana? Yeah, I think it does, right? I guess we'll find out if they do it. Yep, that made 2 mana. Combo. Alright. We killed their Keenan and they still had a turn 3 Karn. Brutal. I mean, I can like minus the red and 6 on the Karn and then use the Kolaghan's Command 2 damage mode to kill the Karn that way. Ooh. Alright, well, Thoughtseize gets to take the Paradox Engine. There's not really a good way to go about this. So, like, the options are Kolaghan's Command only to, like, kill Springleaf Drum and kill the Keenan. And, like, let their Karn go off again. Or I could Kolaghan's Command to kill the Karn in conjunction with the Ren and 6 and, like, have the opponent discard a card or something. Or I guess I could also kill the Springleaf Drum still, which does fairly neuter the Keenan because they won't have a non-lands mana tapper. Yeah, I think I want to kill the Karn, kill the Springleaf Drum, which has me going Verdant for probably a Blood Crypt. And I guess in the oddball chance they're playing like a Force of Negation, I should do this first. In case they force it, that can inform what I do with the Ren and 6. So we'll do destroy an artifact, 2 to a target. Kill the Karn. So they've got Paradox Engine in hand. So they still have 5 mana if they want it. Jeez. Push kills Keenan. That's pretty huge. I would love to start like just playing Bloodbraids, but if I don't find a way to kill the Keenan, I could just pretty much die. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably just like cast Thoughtseize, cast Push, cast Tarmogoyf, using the Ren and 6 to get the land back to do it all. There's a chance this hits nothing, but I'm not gonna not cast it. It's a breeding pool. Alright, this is a 2 mana play, so I don't need Revolt. Alright, Witch's Cottage, not quite there yet. I guess I'm going to want to start getting extra green sources because they do have use their graveyard to an extent with the Uro package. So I think I'm going to get my other copy of Overgrown Tomb to start turning on the Witch's Cottages and also just get more green. So Overgrown Tomb, go to 9, cast a Tarmogoyf. Alright, I mean, we've done pretty alright for ourselves despite our opponent really just going off. Got the engine in play. Can we find our one other Kolaghan's Command? That'd be sweet. Alright, Alright, so I guess I'm just leading on Bloodbraid. In the odd chance they're holding something that costs 3 or less, I could get my other Swamp with the Verdant to cast everything, but I mean, getting the Ravine down might be good too. I think I actually will just go ahead and cast the Inquisition as well, because the Ravine's not getting activated next turn anyway. Odds are I'm just gonna be going Bloodbraid into Bloodbraid, so I think doing this, casting this Inquisition now is probably the best time. So cast this, targeting you. Another breeding pool. In case BB hits discard first. Yeah, I could. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm going to cast it. We've got a 2-turn attacking clock no matter what. So on the off chance this like cycles into more disruption, I think it's probably fine to cycle it. All right, we can mire to put Bloodbraid on top, but it hardly matters. I think they play a couple like Metallic Rebuke. They might. I think they also play Cryptic, like Metallic and Cryptic. I'm not sure about Archmage's Charm. But yeah, Inquisitioning first would be the reason to play around the counters, which I'm fairly confident they've got at least like 4 or 5 of. I mean, this deck has looked pretty impressive, right? Like we killed their turn 2 Keenan, and they still had they played Karn on turn 3, and then like still got their engine into play around everything. All right, so Boyle gonna look great. Brutality is another counter spell check, and it also kills Keenan for what it's worth. They are playing, or at least I'm assuming they're playing Uro. They're also trying to go off with Emery shenanigans, so Spellbomb looks excellent, and Ashiok to some extent. Renin 6 isn't killing a whole lot. Against the combo deck, I like shaving on the Bloodbraid just because it's so expensive. I think I'm just going to straight cut all of the Rens. I think I'm cutting the Dreadboars too. Like, Dreadboard kills Karn and also the Keenans, but our other removal does a similar job. The only thing that Dreadboar has over the other stuff is that it actually gets to kill the Karn by targeting it as opposed to having to attack it or like bolt it down. I think it's going to be better to like play Brutality over it. I do want to play some number of Ashioks. This has me needing 3 cuts. I think it's probably fine to shave a bolt. Like all this removal is only it's like really good for killing like the Keenan and the 3 mana thing that I can never remember the name of. The thing that makes things cost less. Emery. For Keenan and Emery, but it's almost never going to face. And like Brutality does a similar job. Seasoned Pyromancer is also really, really slow. I'm kind of okay just shaving those. This seems fine. I'm a little concerned with how few threats I'm playing. It's like, what, 10 now? I think I have to ship this. I don't have a good way to kill the 2 mana creature. Like on the play in the dark, this hand's probably fine, but I don't think it's acceptable in the draw versus the combo. Yeah, this is notably better. And I think I'm just actually gonna bottom the Bloodbraid. Tarmogoyf is a pretty decent clock. And like I'm not gonna bottom the things I can cast. Honk. Alright, so do I want to push that first or just like cast an Inquisition now? I think I'm probably just going to cast the Inquisition. Like, I'm most worried about Keenan's and Emery's. And I want to be able to like cast a Tarmogoyf on my next turn. And if I like Fatal Push this and they play the Keenan or the Emery, that's going to get much worse. So in an attempt to fight either of those two cards, I think I'm going to like, I'm going to try to lead on this and then cast Goyf next turn instead of having to take the turn off. All right, and there's the Keenan. Wonder what they're trying to hit here. I guess like Emery is something they could cast now. Alright, so land is fine. Should I play Goyf here or should I Fatal Push to keep them off of a potential turn 3 Karn? I mean, I'm going to get to kill this Karn with the onboard Goyf if I just play the Goyf, so I think I'm leaning towards getting Tarmogoyf down. And then this also enables me to double spell. Like, I could have double spelled this turn between Push and Spell Bomb, but maybe establishing a board presence is better. Also, I think this Fatal Push is going to be more importantly used for a Keenan or an Emery. Alright, they just didn't have the land. That's good for me too. Ooh, Liliana. Liliana's interesting. I think now I should probably just Liliana minus. It's worse for me if they've got one of the counters we were just talking about. But it can't be Cryptic, at least not now. If they've got a way to remove a Tarmogoyf, maybe I want another Tarmogoyf in play just as an additional way to onboard pressure a Planeswalker. But I really think getting this Liliana down is also pretty attractive. And I'm going to do this first in case they like counter it, and that'll grow the Tarmogoyf. I'm going to cut them off of their mana source instead of just plussing. Minusing is a way I get potentially blown out by Veil of Summer, but the creature that they have in play doesn't actually attack the Liliana dead off of her being only at 1, so I think minusing is defensible. Alright, so I think I'm just going to plus here and ditch the Swamp. And then I can play Tarmogoyf, play Spellbomb, say go. I'm not going to just like throw away a Fatal Push when I need it to kill potentially a Keenan or an Emery. And I'm definitely going to plus the Liliana. I mean, maybe I discard the push because I've got the Liliana in play to deal with the next creature, and maybe I should just like get all my spells down. Yeah, that's not crazy. Also, like 4th land is important because I could be finding Bloodbraid. Yeah, it's kind of upsetting to have to discard it, but I'm happier that my opponent has to discard than me just discarding another random removal spell. Alright, let's attack for a chunky amount. Honk. So that's probably just good enough to use this Liliana on. And I'm not gonna sack Bobble now, the Spell Bomb now, because that makes the glyphs no longer lethal threats. Also, I don't want to like have two things in my hand that I can't cast. They only have one island. I mean, I'm probably just gonna cast it to get them off of that one island, to be completely honest. But I'll attack first because like if they want to keep their goose around, they're gonna have to tap out to sacrifice the food. Honestly, just like a regular Stone Rain is probably good enough at this point. Just 4 mana kill a land. All right, boil. All right, so do I cut him off of mana even further? Yes. Cool. All right, so we got there in a pretty defining fashion. We took that match. Iceman. We are on the play in the dark. No meaningful way to interact before turn 3, but we've got a 2-drop into 3-drop into one of our more powerful 4-mana plays, or I guess our only 4-mana play. But maybe we call a Guns Command instead, depending on what we see. So I guess the correct thing to get here would be Stomping Ground. Definitely want to get red. Blood Crypts. Is it Shadow or is it a mirror? Vile. Maybe it's like an Elementals type thing. Alright, so getting Stomping Ground makes us farther away from the Witch's Cottages being turned on, but I think I'm going to want more green and obviously want first red, so I think it's fine for now. Dreadbore not the worst. And again, we're never actually drawing Blackleaf Cliffs, so it's probably fine to just shock here and make our mana better sooner. This could get bolted, but I mean, I'm not going to not play it instead of doing nothing. Being that they're an Aether Vial deck, they're very likely a creature deck, which means that if this were like an instant, I probably would have just like held that up instead of playing Goyf. But since I'm not going to not use my mana on turn 2, so I'll just cast it. Goblins. Okay, that makes some sense. Alright, so I think I'm going to Kolaghan's Command here, just like blow up their Crater Maker and blow up their Vial. The Vial is like providing a pretty significant mana advantage. So it's probably correct to just get these things out of the way now. They didn't have anything to Violent at 1, which is pretty nice. Alright, and I think this is a pretty commanding spot. Like, no matter what they do here, I can almost definitely Liliana Edict it. I think the way I lose this now is that they can, like, catch me off guard with the combo. Alright, and they're short on lands, too, so that makes that even less likely. Oof, and that was excellent. So, I kind of get to do everything here. Gonna get Black Source. Let's make it a Blood Crypt. Alright, so I can now Inquisition, see what they've got going. We know that they've got land on top, so I'll keep that in mind. They've got another Snoop, some Ringleaders. I don't want their Chieftain to come down and kill my Liliana, so I'll take that. So then I'll Liliana. Although if they just attack the Liliana, I get to just win. So maybe that's a mistake, because like them adding Planeswalker makes the Goyf attack for exactly lethal. So yeah, maybe a small misstep. But I mean, they're pretty much forced to block next turn anyway, between just another hasty attacker. So I mean, we're pretty good here. Another Kiki Jiki on top. Alright, so we've got perfect info. They can shuffle out away. Is Renin 6 good here? So I think if I... Well, if I Bloodbraid, they definitely have to block. That's not a question. So the question is, do I want to run in 6 and Dreadboard, just like cast this Bloodbraid? I think I'm going to go for the Bloodbraid because discarding this run in 6 means they have to block the Tarmogoyf anyway. And like but the potential for hitting removal could just end the game this turn. Yeah, like they. Oh yeah, duh. I could just Dreadbore. It's funny. I put together that I could grow the Tarmogoyf, but I like forgot that I could just also kill them now instead. Yeah, good catch. I figured out the harder piece, but sometimes I forget the easy part, which is just killing them. All right, so Rakdos. This card seems like it's gonna be good. All right, Plague Engineer is another kill spell. I don't think they're playing the version the persist version. So I think it's instead of Spell, it's just Ashiok. Like they do play the Snoop combo, so Ashiok preventing the search seems good. So potentially these 6. And then like I mentioned, I don't think they're playing the graveyard part of the deck with the persist shenanigans, so I think Ooze is gonna be pretty lackluster. On the draw, Liliana gets worse. I'm gonna shave a Bloodbraid to that since I'm on the draw versus a combo deck. On the draw, I think I'm gonna also shave a 3rd Ashiok. Getting 2 of those instead of like another removal spell is gonna be pretty disastrous. And then versus a mid-range deck, I usually like cutting Hand Disruption, but since they've got a pretty good combo element, I think keeping them all in is not super crazy. Maybe it is just another Liliana. They're pretty often going to be able to swarm the board, so edicting their worst thing is often not going to be great. Let's give that a go. This is a really fast league. Yep. We're at 1 hour and 23 right now. I guess we did have one basically bye when the opponent just like conceded when they disconnected. Relic. Alright, well I'm happy that's not a Vial or an otherwise larger creature. So what's up, Poison? Are you referring to Jund or are you referring to Goblins? Yeah, both still exist. Alright, so I really want to have the option to Ashiok or Kolaghan's command on turn 3, which means maybe I should just get this Cottage down now. Relic is mitigating this Tarmogoyf anyway, so I'm just gonna get my tap land down. Like my top end's pretty powerful, so I think I just want to make sure I have the mana by then. John, yeah. Snoop Dogg. Alright, Tarfire on top. Alright, well that's gonna get bolted. And I think I'll do it now. Like I could wait until their draw step to get 1 additional card's worth of info, but if they got something stupid on top, I don't want them to have the ability. Like if it's a what's the one where you can like tap it to like put X goblins, where X is the number of goblins you control. That would be annoying. It could also be the 4 mana thing. Like you can sack a goblin to drain. So it's probably fine to just do it now. Yep. It's gonna get like a ringleader or something. Ringleader would suck. For me, not for them. Yeah. Thoughtseize? Can I get a Thoughtseize? You tease me, deck. I mean, I could Kolaghan's Command now to, like, kill the Matron and kill the Relic. That denies them the card off of Relic and, like, can potentially let me start growing the Tarmogoyf. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Because, I mean, like, the other option is, like, Inquisition and Tarmogoyf. And Tarmogoyf just isn't going to be very large in the face of this Relic anyway. Yeah, so I'll just lead there. It's the one thing I can hit. Alright, well, it really is just Ringleader. Alright, Glyph time. So yeah, I'm not gonna block. I mean, if they play the Ringleader, they're not able to also sacrifice the Relic immediately. So that gives me at least a block on the Matron. Ringleader. Top 4, reveal all the gobos. Well, they only hit one thing. I guess that's okay. We stonewall a block at least this turn. An attack at least this turn. Pyromancer, interesting. So this is almost definitely getting a Blood Crypt. Yeah, because I want more red, I want more black. So yeah, for sure. I mean, now that this is in play, I think I just want to save the Kolaghan's Command to, like, kill the Snoop. So I guess I'm just passing. I mean, they've got this Relic. Yeah, I mean, I think I need to disrupt their combo pieces before I can, like, start applying my own kind of pressure. Just, like, play the control deck strategy. You played 3 days ago after a long break. I took a small break from recording as well, but that was more because I was doing family things, and Vintage Cube came out. So, oh god. Does this not have haste? This has haste, right? It has all activated abilities, not all abilities. Okay, so it doesn't have haste. But them copying Ringleader is also pretty ridiculous. Well, that can't be countered. When it or another goblin dies, ping? Jeez. I gotta kill that now. Yeah, what I need is a Plague Engineer or something, but even that's not really going to be good enough. I guess I'm going to have them discard their last card. I mean, I could blow up the Relic now too, just to deny them that card and also keep the Glyph large. So that's probably right, other than, like, killing that. But I mean, them just casting this Kiki Jiki is going to be backbreaking. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's so rough. I think I have to kill this. There's no real like good way to do this. Well, in terms of the online meta, I haven't played in a couple. I haven't played online in a little over a week. And I know that, like, online tends to be pretty dynamic in terms of the meta. So like right now I've heard there's a lot of like Tron and Uro piles and like Titan piles, and all of those tend to be not super great for Jund. So I don't necessarily think Jund is very well positioned right now. In fact, I think it's not. But I think it's well positioned in terms of having fun. So here we are. Alright, so they're drawing Kiki. Alright, well that was a good draw. I can Ashiok and just like minus on the opponent. That stops future searches and also makes sure they're not drawing the Kiki. Unfortunately, we can't Ashiok and push, but I think denying them the Kiki Jiki is almost just more important. All right, Blood Crypt on top. That's more manageable. But yeah, like we can hold up a push for like the first thing they target, but not even if it's got Revolt. We don't have Revolt is what I mean. So like if they target like Matron or Ringleader, we just like can't even deal with it. And I want them to draw the Vial that does almost nothing. Brutality is a kill spell. I think I want a Bloodbraid here. I could kill two things. But, I mean, there's not really going to be a much better window to play the Bloodbraid, especially when I know the card they're drawing is dead. That might be wrong, though. Just, like, if they've got a good creature on top, like, Snoop has those abilities. So maybe it's just profitable to kill the creatures now. Yeah, I don't want Snoop going off. Like, they're not gonna have anything good to do next turn. So like I could Bloodbraid onto a relatively empty board next turn, and that does seem fine. So I guess like if I'm worried about them, it's like which one do I want them to keep? I'm definitely killing the Snoop. So I guess I'll see if this resolves. I mean it will. Okay, so they've got Vial on top. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I don't have Revolt. Oh, I did that backwards. Wow. I kind of punted that. I mean, we're not... It's not really bad, but it is bad. Ooh, thank you. Hey. Pizza rolls were BOGO, so I bought some. Yeah, I needed to push that and like Brutality something else. Alright, so they drew Vial. Alright, so the hand's empty. So, funny enough, it might have actually just been better to keep the push. Because like the only creature they had that actually mattered was the Snoop. I can now play the Mire, and I can play the Bloodbraid, and I can hold up the push with Revolt, so that's pretty nice. So I think this actually works out better. Well, that doesn't do anything, but I'll still put it in my yard. Alright, and then I think I am okay offering a trade here. I think I'll hit with the Goyf just because that's for more. If they want to attack to try to kill down the Ashiok, I think I'm just going to let them hit it. I realize you can hear my chewing. I apologize. I'll mute it when I'm chewing. I just remembered that was an issue I had before. How do I mute when I'm actually... Okay, I found it. When I'm chewing, I'll mute it. Apologies. Not gonna fetch so I can keep the possibility for a revolted push at instant speed. Renin 6 is nice. That kills the Matron. So let's just do that. Didn't notice the chewing? Okay. When I talk in the mic, it tells me like it has like that little bar that like shoots back and forth based off of like how much audio it's picking up. And when I was chewing, I noticed it bumping a little bit, so I assumed that you could hear it. All right, and now if they want to attack the Ashiok, I'm a-okay with that. I'm just going to apply the pressure. All right, so we get to win here. Sweet. All right, so I mean, we ended up 3-2ing. So that was a fast league. Just about an hour and a half. So I guess we'll do the quick wrap up. So the thought experiment here was the Witch's Cottage, and it did pretty okay. We didn't unfortunately have any matchups where it was actually relevant, but the whole Witch's Cottage plan never really bit us in terms of having too many tapped lands when we needed them to be untapped. There was one scenario where it was slightly awkward, but it ended up working out fine when sequenced the way that I did it. The rest of the deck felt pretty fine. Again, we didn't really get to loop any creatures after them being destroyed because of the Witch's Cottage. We just kind of did the traditional Jund plan, and the traditional Jund plan did pretty fine. I think we would have 2-3'd had the opponent not had that unfortunate disconnect in round 3. But, I mean, in round 1 we played against, what was it? Ad Nauseam, which I think is a pretty good matchup, barring Leyline of Sanctity. And they had it games 2 and 3, and we smashed them game 1 when they didn't have it. We played against Tron round 2, and that went just about as well as it usually does. We picked up game 2. And then game 3, I guess I could have mulliganed to a hand with the Cleansing Wildfire, but I think the 7-card hand I had was pretty good. It was Inquisition, Goyf, and then I think like a Liliana or something. So like, it was pretty much the nuts, assuming without the land tape. But I mean, maybe I should just be mulliganing way more aggressively for it. And then round 3, the opponent disconnected, so we won that. Round 4, we played against the relatively new and innovated, or it's not relatively new, but I assume it's relatively newly innovated. We played against the Keenan deck, and we that was, I think, the only actual like tier 1 or 1.5 matchup that we had, and we actually just completely dismantled and destroyed. So that was pretty good. And then obviously here in round 5, versus Goblins, creature combo deck, which tends to be what Jund has a pretty easy time with. We got pretty lucky that the opponent's ringleader only hit 1 creature. I think that they hit 2 or 3, we would have been a little bit more hard pressed to pull ahead. But I mean, other than that, we performed pretty well, and I am pleased with how the overall deck performed. I wish we had more time to test the Cottage, but that'll be for the next recording. So until then, I hope everyone had a good time watching, and until the next league, Jund them out and have a good one.